Oh, good morning, my relatives. I want to start with a question. Who's the most influential person in your life? I'm sure we would get a wide variety of answers, but this morning I want to talk about the person who had the biggest influence on me, from a minute to two, if you'll oblige me. The man I'm talking about is my father, my dad, my pops, who would have been celebrating his 86th day of birth in a couple of weeks. Not only was he my biggest supporter, but everything that I am passionate about the most today was introduced to me by him. Now I can talk about the life lessons that he instilled in me and how he felt, and how he made me feel loved and safe growing up, to which he did. But today specifically, I want to talk about those things that he introduced to me at a very young age, that I still nerd out about today. Firstly, movies and music. You know, it's funny how you have memories that you can look back on and just remember it clear as day, like every single detail. One of those particular memories that I still look back on very fondly was the day that my pops took the family out to the drive-in to go see Purple Rain. I was 4 years old, and I remember watching it on that screen and knew that I was witnessing the coolest dude I had ever seen for the very first time. I was going to be the next Prince. In fact, my pops would end up buying me a toy guitar that was a replica of the one Prince used in the film to help me live out my dreams of being a rock star in the living room by jumping off the couch and singing every song from the soundtrack. So not only was I mesmerized by the movie itself, but the music also struck a chord with me. This moment in time began a lifelong love for movies, music, and going a little further, live music. Then one day when I was around 5 years old, my pops came home from the video store with some VHS tapes. Google that. That he had procured. He put one in and said, "Watch this one, baby Harry." That's what he would call me. It was a VHS of the World Wrestling Federation. This was another one of those moments that would stick with me forever and change my life. One of the first characters I remember seeing on that tape was a guy named Macho Man Randy Savage. And again, this is one of those times where I was witnessing the coolest guy I'd ever seen for the very first time. He talked with a badass, raspy voice, dressed in colorful robes and cool sunglasses, to which my dad would also find me a miniature replica of, so I can prance around the house mimicking my new idol. And he also had a beautiful woman as his valet. This moment started a love of professional wrestling that has never wavered for me, even today as a man of 23 years. No, just kidding. So today, as I think about all of the great memories of watching movies, many classics that I still consider favorites that were introduced to me by my pops, going to concerts. Yes, he also took me to my very first concert when I was 10 years old. And just having a regular jam session of great music at home, or if we were out for a drive, I can't help but smile and be grateful today. He supported me in all of my endeavors, especially if it had to do with the arts, and let me become the nerd I proudly still am today. So Pops, thank you so much for being my dad. I miss you and I love you. Happy day of birth.